Come.
Check. That should be good. It's like we not on Facebook.
No, Facebook. You refresh it.
I was fresh. Oh, okay, well, my bad. Okay, now
I was on it.
Shalom Israel, Shalom Yahabashim Shabbatah, Shalom Yahashmalata Bashim Yahushai. Today's Sabbath service, and today we are going to be going over who is Esau. We talk a lot about Esau throughout the Bible, and I just wanted to, if I could, educate brothers and sisters on who exactly is Esau. We refer to him today as the so-called white man, the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is who we talk about. For those of y'all who don't know, the reason why we say devil is because devil, if you look at the actual definition, it means deceiver, someone who is a liar. And Esau has built his nation. I mean, he's built his entire foundation, if I could, on lying, being a thief, being wicked, murder, child molestation, pedophilia, anything that you could possibly think of that is wicked. Esau built that off of us. But we need to understand who exactly is Esau, though. So I'm going to give everybody a moment to check in, and then we're going to get started with the prayers.
Oh, good. Just sit back and pay attention, my guy. You ain't start the lesson if you don't ask about the lesson. Just sit back and watch the lesson.
Okay, I see somebody tuning in. Okay, brother. Well, you just if you could, you just sit. If you want to, just sit through the whole class, and we'll, give a little bit of education on who exactly is Esau.
Yeah. Maybe I could give him a little help on the Hebrew alphabet too, on that Shabbat Shalom that he sent.
Okay, there. I see Trooper Halak checking in. Most High in Christ, brother. All right. So for the sake of time, we'll just get started with the prayers now. We're going to be going over Genesis chapter 25, verse 19 through 26 in the Hebrew. We'll do that first. All right. So Elijah just mean the brother up here.
Battle Axe came back.
We'll see. Sorry, Steve. Sorry.
La Yasharala,
Which is Hebrew for to Israel. Sorry, Steve. Amadi upon Yahakwadam, which means to stand and face the east. We're going to be going over the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Ayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakukah. Taba'ah. Ratzaka. Ayah. Asha. Maratza. Kawa. Ayah. Shemayim. Tanyanawa. Bakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kasalaknawa. Wathinawa. Wala'a. Tabayanawa. Manasaiwan. Ball. Hawashai now. Ayun. Rai. Kaya. Lakah. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Watapara. La'walumium. Aman. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father. Which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Hakat, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Barakashah. Tanyanawa. Hakat. Laba'ah. Call. Makalah. Madawah. Hakat. Latahar. Matazariah. Hakat. Lahaquayim. Hamathium. Hakat. Rakawah. Tama'ala. Garasham. Yahushai. The water. Amen. Hakat, the power in the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wayahushai. Wamakala. Wa'alahayim. Matazabi'ah. Alawap Yahana. Ha'alawapim. Hasaronyim. Hakwatazayoyim. Hakayayoyim. Wa'akwapim. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. The water. Amen. The blessings in the English.
Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushai.
And Yahushai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohanan.
Commanding General Yohanan.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahushai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Yonya.
Nunya.
All. Hoyim.
Hayim.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah. Isaiah.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Asher.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Baratza.
Ratza.
All.
Ethan.
Amawat.
Amawat.
Galka.
All.
Ayawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka. Na.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Nawam.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yashun.
Hashem.
Shawamar.
Sharmar.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Zalka.
Tazarka.
Ayad.
Ayad.
Yemka.
Yemka.
Yawamam.
Nawam.
Hashamash.
Yashamash.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wa'arach.
Ra'arach.
Wala'ala.
La'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Yashamarka.
Ko.
All.
Rai.
Rai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Napashka.
Napashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Afka.
Haza'aka.
Wa'afka.
Wa'aka.
Maida.
Maida.
I.
Wa'ai. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the
I will
hills.
lift up my eyes to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord,
My help cometh from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth
He
thee
that keepeth thee
will not
will
slumber.
not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth
he
Israel
that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy
The
shade
Lord is thy shade.
upon thy right hand.
Upon thy right
The
hand.
sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by
nor
night.
the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve
The
thee
Lord shall preserve
from
thee
all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going
and
out
thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time
from
forth
this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahai,
Alahayim,
all,
Lamiyah,
Laka,
Lakah,
all,
Zakarash,
Zakarash,
all,
Shakwat,
Ashakwat,
all,
Kaya,
Hana,
Hana,
Yevika,
Yevika,
Yahama,
Yama,
Yawan,
Yawam,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
I'al,
I'al,
Amaka,
Amakah,
Ya'imwa,
Ya'imwa,
Sawadah,
Sawadah,
Waita,
Waita,
Tazawah,
Yetazawah,
I'al,
I'al,
Tazapawanyika,
Tizapawanyika,
Morwa,
Amarwa,
Akawa,
Yakawa,
Manakakida,
Wakakidam,
Goya,
Goya,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Shum,
Shum,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Awadah,
Awadah,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Tazawah,
Yetazawah,
Laba,
Labah,
Yakadwa,
Dekadwa,
Al Yaka,
Aliyakah,
Baryah,
Bayarah,
Yakarathwa,
Yakawathwa,
Aliyah,
Aliyah,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wa,
Wa,
Yashamai,
Yashamai,
Alayam,
Alayam,
Mawa'aba,
Maba'aba,
Salaki, Wahagariam,
Bargarium,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawam,
Wanawam,
Waimalak,
Amalat,
Halashah,
Halashah,
Am Yeshabia,
Am Yeshabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gum,
Gum,
Ashawar,
Ashawar,
Alawa,
Nalawa,
Aimam,
Ayman,
Hayawa,
Haywa,
Zarwai,
Zarwai,
Labunya,
Labunya,
Lawat,
Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Laham,
Laham,
Kamudya,
Kamudyam,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabya,
Kayabyam,
Banakal,
Banakal,
Koyashwan,
Koyashwan,
Nishamarwa,
Nishabawa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Dama,
Dama,
La'a,
Ba'a,
Dama,
Dama,
Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yabawa,
Yabawa,
Kairab,
Karab,
Kaza'aba,
Wakazabba,
Kazabak,
Kazabak,
Kazazol,
Katazal,
Nai,
Nanai,
Kol,
Kal,
Nasayakamwa,
Asayatma,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Marwa,
Amarya,
Nayashua, Nayarasha,
Nayarasha,
Lanawa,
Nanawa, Af,
Nawa,
Naiwa,
Alahayim,
Ahayam,
Alahaya,
Ahaya,
Shayatamwa,
Shaitamwa,
Gogla,
Gogla,
Kwash,
Kwash,
Panya,
Panya,
Yakawa,
Akawat,
Ka'ash,
Ash,
Ira,
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 Wa,
Wa,
Kalaba,
Talaba,
Kalahat,
Salat,
Sahorium,
Ahayam,
Kun,
Kun,
Daradama,
Laradama,
Sairaka,
Sairaka,
Abasa,
Abasa,
Pafka,
Pavka,
Kabalam,
Dalilam,
Mala'a,
Alaa,
Panyahum,
Alaham,
Palawan,
Kalawam,
Wa,
Wa.
Salagir, Waya,
Waya,
Bakwashwa,
Kakashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahawa,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Waya,
Waya,
Parwa,
Kaparwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Abadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Daiwa,
Daiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ata,
Ata,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Aliwan,
Adiwan,
Al,
Al,
Kol,
Kol,
Haratza.
Halabatism. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God,
Hold not thy peace,
and hold not thy peace,
and be not still.
and be not still.
O God,
O God,
for lo,
for lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate thee
have lifted up the
have
head.
lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people,
and consulted
and consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off
and let us cut them off
from being a nation,
from being a nation,
that the name of
that
Israel
the name of
may
Israel
be no more in remembrance.
maybe no more, maybe no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
One consent.
They are confederate against
They
thee.
are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal. And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
And with the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also is joined with
They
them.
have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As to the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of
At
Kison.
the brook of Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
Make the nobles like Oreb.
And like Zaid.
And like Zaid.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes as
All
Zabah.
their princes as Zabah.
And as Almunah.
And as Almunah.
Who said,
Who said,
let us take to ourselves
let us take to ourselves
the houses of God in
the
possession.
house of God in possession.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As a stubble before the wind.
As a stubble before the wind.
As a fire burneth a wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as a flame set the mountains on fire.
And as the flame set the mountains
So
on fire.
persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy
With
tempest.
thy tempest.
And make them
And
afraid.
make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with
Fill
shame.
their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy
That they
name.
may seek thy name.
O Lord.
O Lord.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled.
And troubled.
Forever.
Forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to
Let
shame.
them be put to shame.
And perish.
Perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That thou.
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth. Sorry. Let's clap it up for the Most High. All right. As you can see through the title, we're going to be going over who is Esau. So we're going to be going over Genesis chapter 25, verse 19 through 26. And we're going to be reading those verses, the 7 verses in the Hebrew. Make sure to always brush up on your Hebrew. We'll get started there. And if I could, real quick, for the brother who asks, are you guys going to show who Esau is today, or are you guys going to try to show us who he ain't? Brother, if I could, real quick, and I mean this, with the utmost love and respect, we're not going to try to show you anything. We're going to prove it to you, okay? Everything that's in this Bible is 100% facts. I'm not going to tell you my opinion. I'm not going to lean onto my own understanding. That's what you're not supposed to do according to the Most High. We're going to prove to you who Esau is.
My question to him is like, who do you think Esau is? You know what I mean? With the prophecies in the Bible showing, Esau will be a last that rule. You know what I mean? If you consider yourself Israel, then does that mean that, Esau has not yet taken his reign yet? Are you saying that we're Esau? Like, I don't get it. Like, what exactly is he saying? You know what I mean? Because, Esau will be the end, and then, then Israel will reign. You know what I'm saying? So with what all the prophecies that you see today, as far as, what's happening to this nation of Esau, because the white man rules this nation. You know what I mean? If you can't try to make it seem as if it's any different. Don't, like, I heard somebody say that the Ishmaelites are the ones that rule. The East Indians are the ones that rule right now. No. You know what I mean? Because you feel like they have control of their oil. They don't have control of their oil. America already showed you that they don't have control of their oil. They went and took it all. You know what I'm saying?
Right, they did.
So who do you really feel like is at rule right now? Because if you are considering yourself that you are Israel, and you see, and if you dare to say that this is the end times, you know what I mean, before Christ comes, then Esau's supposed to be at rule right now. Mm-hmm. So who's ruling right now? You know what I mean? It's our oppressors. You know what I mean?
Excellent point. We have a lot to cover today.
Right.
Trust me on that. We're going to make sure we're very thorough on educating brothers and sisters who Esau is. I see brother say,
yeah, he agrees. He agrees.
The white man is Esau. You're absolutely right, brother. But we're going to prove it to you, though. I ain't going to tell you anything from our own understanding. But yeah, we're going to go over Genesis chapter 25, verse 19 through 26 in the Hebrew. And that's where we'll start.
It's like you said, 29 and 23?
Genesis chapter 25,
25.
verse 19 through 26.
Okay.
Verse 19
All right, let's do it. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Try to hit every point so we don't miss anything. All right. Wa'a la ha da dawa la ra da ya I so like it yataza ka ba ba bada no so like it baza ya baraham abara hum hawa la ya ra ata ya taza ka waya ha ya taza ka baza raba taza so like ba I yum shana ha baka kha tawa asa ra baka ha basa ya basa wahala ramaya mapa raza aram acha wata la baza ramaya la shaha waya I thara ya taza ka la ya ha waha lana ka ashata wa baya or so like a kaya taza ka raha hawa waya I ra la ya wa ya ha waha ya wasa hara raba kaha ash kwaha asha tawa waya ta ya taza tazaka haba nayam bakwai ra baha wata mara ama ya kaza lama ha zaha ana kaya wata lara La ra la da ra rasha asa ya ha ha wa ya mara yaha wa yaha yaha waha laha wana ya ga ya yum gawa yum ba 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 ta naka wa sha nam naya laha la mayum my ka yapa rada wala I am mala I am mataza ba yawa I ba da taza I yara waya mala ka yama lama yum yaha la da waha naha sawa mama. It's like it. We're going to 26.
26, yeah.
Tanaha waya taza ara shawa za ada mawa naya kala wa darata sha'ira waya awa shama wa I shall wa. That's it.
That's it. All right, let's clap it up. All right, so we're going to be going over Genesis chapter 25, verse 19 in the English.
Let's do it.
All right, the book of Genesis chapter 25, verse 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. So we always talk about, our forefathers who are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Verse 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Paddan Aram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. And the elder, just remember that, the elder shall serve the younger. There's a reason why I'm emphasizing that. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So Esau was the firstborn of the twins, the elder. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in the tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. This is why we always say Edomites. Okay, we don't say Esauites. No, Edomites, who are the so-called white men and women today, are the descendants of Esau. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. This is Jacob talking to Esau. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? So Esau is kind of talking like, well, what is birthright going to do for me anyway? There's a reason why we're bringing up a birthright. We're going to get into that after. And Esau said, behold, verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. So Esau sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. We keep bringing up birthright, right? There's a reason for that. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 27, verse 1. And we're going to read about the birthright that was given to Jacob. The book of Genesis chapter 27, verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, the eldest, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, the weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. So Esau was the eldest. Now you can kind of take this into today's society. You know, what do they call it? An inheritance. You usually give your inheritance to your eldest, child, usually the eldest son. So even though they were twins, Esau was the first to come out. So technically he was the elder brother. But remember, he sold his birthright to Jacob. If I could real quick, we're going to continue. And Rebekah heard we'll go to verse 8. The book of Genesis chapter 27, verse 8. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. This is Rebekah talking to Jacob. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me, and I shall see to him as a deceiver. Oh, it's like I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, not a blessing. So Jacob was kind of worried, like, I ain't trying to like bamboozle my father, But in verse 13, and his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me then. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meats, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. So she's just preparing the meat for Jacob to give to Isaac right now. And he came unto his father and said, my father, and said, where am I? Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. So you can kind of tell right here, okay, Jacob, it was prophesied before that the eldest shall serve the younger, and that there were two nations born in Rebekah's womb, and they were struggling. So Jacob and Esau, they were fighting in the womb. We were already fighting for power back then before we were even conceived. Okay, so Jacob is listening to his mother Rebekah right now, and he's going to his father. He's bringing the kid, which is like a baby goat. He's bringing the prepared meat that his mother prepared for him to his father right now, so that he can get the blessing.
It's like, if I may too, not to be off subject, but I want to say Salakia to Akmalak. I think I misinterpret your messages. Like it like the way that you were coming about it made it seem as if you had because people have an issue with who we describe as who Esau is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when they question us on who Esau is, more so it's always something behind it. Mm-hmm. They question us who Esau is because they feel like, we can't physically prove it. So they're just caping for, the white man. That's it. Like they just don't want the white man to be Esau. You know what I mean? Because when it's funny when Christians, when Christians sit there and tell you that everybody can get salvation, you ask them that's the one question you ask them. Okay, so what about Esau? Because if anything, your pastor knows that Esau cannot have salvation. You know what I'm saying? Esau cannot be forgiven. You know what I mean? It says it specifically in the Bible. So you ask them, okay, well, what about Esau? And they just like, oh yeah, well, no one really knows who Esau really is. So you know what I mean? Like that's just a cop out, because the Christian doctrine is that everyone, Christ died for everyone, no excuses, none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Christ died for everybody. That's their doctrine. But once you ask them about Esau, because in the Bible it says that Esau will never be forgiven. Once you ask them about Esau, they get stuck. And then they start to say, oh yeah, but who is Esau? You know what I mean? Now, this is why this class is so important, because we're going to show you who Esau is. We're going to show you all his characteristics that go from biblical to this time period right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is why the title you come up with was so heavy. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's important to know who Esau is, because you have to know that Esau is the enemy of Jacob.
Right.
You know what I mean? Jacob loved Esau, but Esau didn't love Jacob. Esau wanted to kill Jacob. You know what I mean? And to this day, you know what I mean? Esau and Jacob, like we read, were fighting in the womb. You know what I'm saying? Like Esau, well, so like I don't think we read that part yet, but
no, we read that part.
Okay.
Genesis chapter 25, when it said, you know, there were two nations in Rebekah's womb. There's two. All right, even though like Esau. So if I could real quick, Esau and Jacob are brothers.
Right.
They are brothers, but they are of two separate nations. The Lord already knew that. Okay, and the younger, it's like the older shall serve the younger. And as we read in just to recap real quick before we continue in 25, Esau sold his birthright.
Right.
All right. So like we said before, like it's kind of like a custom. Well, not kind of. It is a custom to give your inheritance. You know, the birthright, whatever you might call it, to your eldest. You know, because they're the firstborn. So even though they were twins, Esau was the first to come out of the womb. So you would think, okay, well, Esau was supposed to get the birthright, right? Well, Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. The Lord already prophesied this. Like Jacob was the younger one, so Esau was already made to serve Jacob anyway. But Esau gave his birthright to Jacob because he was, if you really read thoroughly into it, because he was hungry. He sold his birthright for some food. His entire birthright. There's a reason why that happened though. Esau was never really he was never supposed to get the blessing. Not the blessing that we're talking about. Esau did get blessed with something though, and we're gonna cover that. I believe it's in. We're just gonna continue. Right. We'll dive into that in a second.
Yeah, but I said Salakia, but I still don't know for sure if you know what I mean that person is being like passive aggressive or I don't know what it is, but if that's the case, it seems like they really trying to learn something. So you know what I'm saying? If that is the case, then I want to say Salakia. You know what I'm saying?
If I could, before we continue, I know you tuned out already, you know, sadly, but if you ever watch this class in the future, you know, we just go over the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. We don't read the entire thing in Hebrew. So, right. You know, if you really want to learn something, watch the whole class. This is very informative. You know, our people are doomed for a lack of knowledge. That's in the Bible too. So we provide knowledge right now. So if you really want to learn something, it's right here.
Right. Do this.
You know, let's continue.
Let's get them.
Genesis chapter 27, verse. We'll go to verse 26. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down unto thee. Be Lord over thy brethren. Let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. Now Esau popped up. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison, and brought it me? And I have eaten and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and I blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. Now, when you read this, I'm just gonna say what it is right now. It looks like Jacob kind of like pulled a fast one on Esau, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna get the blessing, not you. You know, it comes across kind of sneaky. But just remember, the Lord already prophesied that the younger was going to be the one that was going to be served, not the older.
Right.
Okay? And Esau sold his birthright. He didn't have to do that. So when he did that, like I said, we were already going to be given the blessing anyway. Okay? It's just this is how it happened. Okay? So now Isaac already blessed Jacob, the younger, okay, our forefather, whose name was later changed to Israel. That's in the Bible. When you read, I believe it was in Exodus, when you read about the plagues, when we were in Egypt, when Pharaoh had us in captivity, it specifically referred to the Most High as the God of Israel, not the God of Esau, Israel. Okay? It's very important to know that there are two different nations, Esau and Jacob.
So, like, if I may too, this is why it's so important to have you a woman who served the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Because the angel came to Rebecca and told her exactly what was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? So the prophecy was already written before the children were even, you know what I mean, before the children were even born. The Lord already knew who was supposed to get the blessing. You know what I mean? Now, how those things transpired, some people would say that, you know what I mean, that Jacob stole the blessing. You know what I mean? But technically, Jacob was already given the blessing before he was even born.
Right.
So he didn't steal anything. He just manifested. You know what I'm saying? And thank the Lord for Rebecca too, being a woman of the Lord, because she knew. Right. She knew that Jacob was the chosen. You know what I mean? And not just that, you know what I mean? She had to play out a role to the point where she wasn't you would think it would be deceiving, but it wasn't. It wasn't, because it was the Lord's will. You know what I'm saying? It was the Lord's will, and she was just making sure that her husband fulfilled what the Lord's will was. You know what I mean? In his old age, he all he knew was tradition. All Isaac knew was tradition. All Isaac knew was that, you know what I mean? Because he loved Isaac. He loved Esau.
Right.
Esau was a masculine, you know what I mean, hunter. You know what I mean? He was out there in the fields. You know what I mean? He was a hunter. He was a provider. He provided food and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Isaac didn't look at it no different from, you know what I mean, that's my son. My son is the oldest, and he's doing what the oldest do. You know what I'm saying? So it is an Israelite tradition to give the blessing to the oldest.
Right.
That's our tradition. The oldest inherits the blessing. You know what I mean? Not saying that Jacob wasn't going to inherit a blessing also. He was going to inherit a blessing, but the blessing that Isaac gave to was supposed to give to Esau was for him to rule. You know what I mean? You're going to rule and then curse those who curse you. You know what I mean? That's the thing that's happening to us today. You know what I mean? So the Lord made sure that situation manifested through a woman who served the Lord.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people think that we speak against women and all that stuff like that. No, we need women like this. We need women to sit there and choose the Most High over anything. You know what I'm saying? We need women like that. We need women like that. But going back onto the details of what Esau and Jacob, you know what I mean? Esau didn't give a damn about his inheritance. He gave it away. Yeah, he didn't give a damn about it. He gave it away just for something to eat. So he didn't care about it as much as and that just shows you. You know what I mean? When the Lord wants to manifest something, it can come out into your personality. You know what I'm saying? It can come out into your characteristics on how you act. So for people who don't choose the Most High over anything, you know what I mean? That's the Lord manifesting something. You know what I mean? That's the Lord manifesting something that, you know what I mean, there's something weak about you.
Right.
So that's why it's urgent that people who feel like this world is more important than the Most High get out of that mind state and just put the Lord first. Put the Lord first. But I don't want to get out. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get out.
No, what you're saying is right.
Yeah, but that's the difference between how we think and how Esau thinks. Esau doesn't give a damn about the Lord. They feel like gaining, hunting, and just, you know what I mean, pleasure is more important than the Most High. You can see it in their churches, in their Catholic churches, and you know what I mean, you can see it. You can see the way that they act. God is not really a factor. He's just a being that exists. You know what I'm saying? To them. He's a being that exists, but honestly, they're over him. You know what I mean? And you can see it a lot, and because that's inherited into our women today. Our women feel like, you know what I mean, God is just a provider who just gives you what you want, but to them, they're really the gods. They're really the gods of this earth. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you can see it through what Esau's doing to our women, to our children. Like, you know what I mean? He's playing out everything that his characteristics, he's pushing it on our women and our children, and he's killing the man. And right. he's murdering the man, he's locking up the man, and this is how Esau rolls, you know what I'm saying? But right. So like I just want to get that
you good. Everything you brought out was 100% facts. We about to get into that right now. So we're going to continue in the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 36. And he said, "Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright." Here's Esau right now. He took away my birthright. No, he didn't. Right. Esau, we read it in Genesis chapter 25. Esau gave up his birthright. Okay, he was the eldest. So, like you said earlier, through tradition, usually it's the eldest that gets the inheritance. But Esau, like you said, Esau didn't really give a damn about his inheritance. He was hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry. I've been hunting all day. You know, here you go, Jacob. Yeah, you can have my inheritance. I don't even care. He even said, what is it going to do for me?
Right.
That was his mentality.
Right.
What is this going to do for me? He didn't realize that it was going to come back and bite him in the ass later. But the thing is, like you said earlier, Esau was never going to get the blessing anyway. Not this blessing. Esau did get blessed with something, though. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he had taken away my blessing. The blessing was the birthright. And he said, "Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?" So he's asking his father. This is Esau talking to Isaac, like, what do I get? Like, can I get a blessing too? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, "Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine I have sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?" He's like, "Well, I already blessed Jacob, so what you want me to do for you?" And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, in his mind, "The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." This is the part that I wanted to get to right here. Esau was blessed with the sword. It said he was a cunning hunter. That's in his nature, to hunt, to conquer, to colonize. What does Esau, what is his entire nation built off of? The colonization of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Not just us. He's heathens too. You know, the Ishmaelites, you know, he goes over there and conquers them for oil, you know, but that's Esau's nature. His nature is to hunt, to conquer, to colonize, okay? That being wicked is his blessing. And the thing is, there's no cap on the blessing of being blessed with the sword, because he doesn't stop, okay? There's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no stopping Esau, like, in his mind to conquer. That's why he does what he does. We talk about it all the time when when the conquistadors came over, the colonizers, they try to call them the pilgrims. You know, it make it seem like, oh, they just settled in America and, you know, they made friends with the Native Indians. The Native Indians had, I think it was over 362 peace treaties with the Edomites. And he broke every single one of them to conquer them. He wanted to conquer Native Indians, okay, to conquer Mexicans. I believe it was the Treaty of Guadalupe in the 1800s, okay? Half of this country was Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, California. You know, the entire West Coast was once Mexico. Now it's Esau's nation. Now he wants to put a border between this and Mexico and say that, oh well, Mexicans are illegal immigrants. They can't come here. You know, they're rapists. They're savages. They don't belong here. Go back to your own country. This was their country. Esau. This is why we said that Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he is a deceiver. He in his heart, he hates Jacob. You need to understand that, because I know there's going to be some people out there that's going to think, oh, you know, they're not all like that. Not all white people are like that. You know, I know there's some brothers out there who might have a wife who's Esau, or vice versa. It might be a sister that might have a man who's Esau. And you think, well, you know, they love me. You know, I got kids with them. You know, we celebrate holidays, which is a sin. You know, you eating all this this unclean food, the shrimp, the crab, the lobster. Esau eats that. The blessing, like the blessing of knowing what pleased the Lord, was given to Israelites, not Edomites. Okay, we know in the book of Leviticus, you know, the dietary laws. You know, what's unclean, what's clean unto us. Those things don't matter to Esau. This is why black people are number one in diabetes. We're number one in high blood pressure. We're number one in, you know, what is it? Clogged arteries, high cholesterol, heart attacks, things like that, because of the diet of which we eat. We're not supposed to eat these unclean things. But Esau don't give a damn. He wasn't given that blessing. Okay, he can eat whatever the hell he wants and theoretically speaking be healthy as a horse. You know, not saying that there aren't white people that can't get, you know, diabetes or anything like that. There are some that get that, but they're not leading in it like how we are. Like, this is why we go over who was given the covenant, who was given the blessing, because we as a nation, we turned away from the blessing. Okay, and that's why we were led into captivity. This is why, you know, Esau's ruling over us right now, which, if I could real quick, can I get Salakia? Where was it? Salakia, I got too many damn notes. I believe it's in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. Yeah. Right. Are you sure? I got one here.
Oh yeah.
You said chapter 3, verse 9? Chapter 6, verse 9. The book, 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9.
The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world,
right,
and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
That followeth. Okay, so right now, it was already predetermined that Esau is going to reign right now,
right,
which he is. You know, North America right now is the most powerful country in the world right now. Yeah, you got the Chinese, you got the Soviet Union, Russia, you got, you know, the Europeans and over there and stuff like that. You got the Japan. Yeah, you got these other nations, but who's really the superpower right now? It's really Esau right now. He's ruling,
right,
and you see his ways in everything. He, like I said before, he wasn't given the blessing. So Esau, how can I say this? In his heart, Esau has no direction on what is right and what is wrong. He's going to listen to his flesh, as all heathens do. He's no different from anybody else. But Esau is the most wicked of them all to us, because he, in his heart, hates us. And there's more than one way to destroy somebody. Of course, you got the Edomites out there who just outright kill us. We could read about that literally all day. Slavery, the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, the KKK, the lynchings. You know, I was reading something not that long ago. What was it? It was a sister, I forgot her name, Salakia. That song by Kanye West, "The Blood on Leaves," that sample.
Right.
You know, that song is
Strange Fruit.
Strange Fruit. That song is very dark when you actually know the meaning of it. The blood on leaves hanging in the summer breeze. That sister was referring to when brothers and sisters were being hung on trees, and the blood was dripping onto the leaves, and they were swinging in the summer breeze. I'm not a rapper, but this is what Esau does to us. He hates us. Now that's just the killing though, but taking the black man out of the household, forcing Hispanics out of this country. You know, you can go on all day about that. Colonizing Native Indians. Okay, there's more than one way to destroy us, because we are a very destroyed people right now. There was a brother not that long ago. This is like a little bit after like the whole DaBaby incident or whatever, and this brother was full blown homosexual. Right now, why was he like this? Who knows? Brother was probably molested. Who knows what happened to him when he was younger? But this brother wanted to be a homosexual so strongly that he decided to turn his back on the entire black community. But why is he like that though? Esau made us like this. The very same people who tell you, oh, God loves everybody, Jesus Christ died on the cross for everyone, Jesus loved everybody, learn to forgive thy neighbor. When the Bible says forgive thy neighbor, it's talking about your fellow tribe. You know, I'm a Judite, okay? I'm from the tribe of Judah, from the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? That means I'm supposed to forgive my brother, forgive my sister, other Judites, Issacharites, Ephraimites. Shalom, sis, what's going on? You know, the other tribes, Manasseh, Reuben, Gad, Levi, you know, those are the people that I'm supposed to forgive. Okay, those are the people that you're supposed to forgive thy brother. That's your neighbor. Okay, Esau took that. I just want to make it very clear right now. The white man did not make this. Okay, the white man took this away from our people and misconstrued it and turned it into a sense of to make us more subservient onto him. Okay, remember at one point we were getting murdered for even knowing how to read. Okay, if the white man found out that you were a so-called black, native, Hispanic man or woman and you knew how to read and write, they would kill you right there. We weren't allowed to have books. Now today we won't even go into a bookstore. Now you don't even got to go into a bookstore. You can just go on your phone. Was it Kindle? I think it's Kindle. You can just go on there and download, you know, a phone on there and just read it from your phone. But a lot of us don't even do that. We're blinded by social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You know, we just want to do all these other things. And there's nothing wrong with being on social media in a sense, but a lot of our brothers and sisters today are so ingrained with entertainment. We want to go and look at things that are fun for us. We don't really want to learn, okay? And you have to learn who your enemy is. Esau is your enemy, right, by birth. Remember, we were fighting in the womb, okay? Right. Esau was trying to kill us before we were even conceived. Right. You don't think he's not trying to kill us now? You can literally just walk outside and you can look at the condition of our people, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men and women today. We are a destroyed people because Esau rules over us right now. Like we read in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, Esau is going to be the end, but Jacob is going to be the beginning that followeth. We are going to inherit our birthright. It's gonna happen, okay? But we have to work towards the kingdom though. We can't just sit around here and just be like, okay, well, you know, we're just gonna wait it out. You know, no, you gotta work. What we do right here, this is work, okay? For sisters who come into this school and reform their lives, who choose not to be a part of the world and choose to actually be a humble, righteous woman, you are serving your nation. You are building up your nation. You're building up the next generation, because when you get a righteous man in your life and you have children, guess what? You're going to raise your kids to be the same way. Right. You're going to protect them from, like we went over last class, the social norm, okay? Being a homosexual, being a drug addict, being a drug dealer, interracial marriages, loving the oppressor. You know, that is the social norm. And today, people don't see anything wrong with that. Let me tell you something. You can't be pro-black if you choose to sleep with Edomite women. You just can't. Why are you sleeping with the oppressor's woman? We have beautiful sisters from 12 different tribes. Take your pick, okay? But you chose some flatback Edomite. Salagia, like just that's what you chose. But you got to look at the mentality behind that. Why did you choose to do that though? Because you remember, like you said earlier, Jacob loved Esau at one point. Right. He did. Esau ain't give a damn. He just wanted to hunt, He was blessed with the sword. He kills. I believe it was General Muhammad. He said something that really stuck out to me during class. It was like maybe like a year or 2 years ago. And I forgot the name of the Edomite that he was talking about, but he said that Esau wants to kill so bad that when he doesn't have anything else to kill, he'll kill himself. Like straight up. He'll commit suicide. Think about it, like these school shootings that you hear about, who does them? It's usually an Edomite man. He be running up into school off a whole bunch of innocent children, men, women, and then a lot of them, they'll off themselves after. Right. Just because the urge to kill is in his blood. Okay? When you sleeping with that white woman, let me tell you right now, you might not realize it. You're gonna think, okay, she loves you and stuff like that. No, she don't. She likes your ride. She likes sex. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Whatever y'all doing, that's your woman now, sadly, if you choose to sleep with her. That's what she loves. She doesn't. Yeah. Oh, boy. She don't love you because, like we said before, love is an action. Okay. And if you really love someone, you're gonna keep the commandments, which that says in the Bible also. But Esau wasn't given the law. Right. So how can he possibly keep the commandments if he was never given commandments to begin with? Okay. Why? When you do that and you have children, this goes more into like the interracial marriages. You have kids. Let's just say you're a brother and you got an Edomite woman, right? You have children. Those kids are of your seed, right? They're still yours. They're still Israel. Don't let anybody try to. That's an identity crisis that they try to say biracial people try to that they go through. Like, oh, my mom's white but my dad's black. They try to tell you, oh, well, you're mixed or you're mulatto or biracial. No, if you have a Cuban father, guess what? You're Cuban. You got a black father, you're black. Whatever your father is, you are the same thing. But we don't know that. A lot of our brothers and sisters don't know that today. So guess what? They're going to give into these heathen customs that their mother is going to push onto them. Mm-hmm. And because they don't know their actual lineage, they don't know, I'm actually from the tribe of Manasseh. I'm from the tribe of Gad. I'm from the tribe of Levi. Right. I'm from the tribe of Simeon. They don't know that. So they're going to listen to their mother. And when you do that, you're sinning, you're not following the commandments, and you're going to continue this endless cycle of just being doomed forever. You're going to raise your kids to be the same way. That's destruction. That's being blessed with the sword from Esau. He's destroying you. If you a sister and you got a white man, well, you have children, your whole entire lineage is cut off because those children, they're still your kids. Don't get it twisted. You are still the mother, but the seed, the spirit is going to come from the father. So those children, and it's not just Esau, it's with anybody. You get with a Moabite man, those children are going to be Moabites. You get with a Hamite, I pray you don't get with a Hamite. You get with you get with a Hamite who's trying to pose off as Israel, as many of them try to do today. What's his name? Idris Elba. Idris Elba is a Hamite. Just in case if anybody didn't know that. He is not Israel. Okay? What's her name? Doja Cat. Doja Cat is a Hamite. Right. Her father is Kenyan. He is a so-called African. She is not of Israel. Right. But they try to pose off as one of us. So because, again, we don't know that they're a different nation. We think that we're African-American or you guys just came from Africa. That's what we're taught throughout school. You're going to sleep with them. Now you're messing with your lineage. But we're going to focus strictly on Esau.
Right. If I may too.
Go ahead.
Like, getting on the point of what you were saying about like Esau, if he's so wicked that he has to kill everything, and if he can't kill anything, he'll kill himself. Like, yeah. Not just that, like he's a naturally lawless being. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to give him any law and he'll do whatever he can to go against it. You know what I'm saying? This is why Edomites are not held to the modern day laws that we get locked up for today. You know what I mean? They'll get a pat on the back and then they'll just, they'll go send them on their way. You know what I mean? You'll rarely see Edomites doing life in jail or having to suffer double lives, triple lives in jail and stuff like that in prison. You'll rarely see that. That's why the population is so low within the prison system. You know what I'm saying? Because they rarely have to face the consequences what they do. But if you can go into what we see today, like just watch how they turn against their own government. We seen it when they, you know what I mean, when they went against the Capitol. Yeah, when they went against the Capitol, when they stormed the Capitol. You're gonna see it again when they try to mandate masks and lockdown again. Yep. We're gonna see a wave of Edomites forcing themselves to go above the government because they don't want to listen to anyone. They're naturally lawless people. You know what I'm saying? If I may too, like I got a couple of scriptures to go with it, like, you know what I'm saying? And the differences between us and the Edomites, you know what I'm saying? Because the Edomites are at rule, like you were reading, what was it in Second Ezra?
Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Edom will rule before Jacob rules. You know what I'm saying? Jacob being a description of all 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Before, and that is the description of the white man in rulers right now, and then his nation coming to an end, being destroyed, and Yahushua ruling. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahushua is within the 12 tribes. He is in the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? So, that debunking everything that people say that you know what I mean, everybody can be saved. So why wasn't, you know what I mean, Yahushua part of the Ammonites or the Ishmaelites? You know what I'm saying? If everybody can be saved, that the Lord would have made that very well known that anyone can be saved. He wouldn't have just made the Savior from the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? He would have made him from another nation. So your doctrine is just it's a fallacy that's going to get a lot of people in judgment. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in judgment, and that's what our oppressor wants. You know what I mean? So-called Esau. Right. Because he made that doctrine that anyone can be accepted. He pushed it on us during the time period of slavery. You know what I mean? That everyone can be saved, and that you are in slavery because the Lord wants you there, and He wants your master to be us. You know what I'm saying? That's what so-called fake Israelites, they push that on us today. They try to push that on us too, that the white man is at rule and we're supposed to obey and do everything that the white man says because the Lord gave the white man the power to rule over us and we're supposed to obey him. That's what you see with the purple cats. You know what I mean? They push that on us. You know what I'm saying? They push that on our people. You know what I'm saying? They're pushing the same doctrine that we were taught in slavery. You know what I'm saying? But the ISUPK under the Commander General Hana, we teach, Lord, that the Most High has a specific people and that He's going to raise those people up. You know what I'm saying? And Esau will only rule for a short time. You know what I'm saying? I have that scripture, but let me get into the one that I wanted to get, which is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 2. And it says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. Who are the people of Mount Seir? You know what I mean? That's Esau. You know what I'm saying? And if you, and the people that you see today, as far as their history coming from the Caucasus Mountains, I think that's the same area, ain't it? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the same area, that's the same territory. Like this is the Bible speaking on that. You know what I mean? And it says, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. This is the Lord speaking against Esau. You know what I mean? And for people to want to defend Esau so much, you got to understand if you understand the Most High and that He's a man of war, you got to understand that one of his arch enemies is Esau. So I wouldn't even say an arch enemy, just one of his enemies in general. Right. Is Esau. Esau is prophesied to be destroyed off of the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we sit out and our women will you know what I mean, our women go out and they choose a Edomite over their fellow black brothers and their fellow Latin brothers and fellow Native American brothers, it just shows that, you know what I mean, we were indoctrinated. We were indoctrinated to love our oppressor. That's why you get Cesar Borgia as playing out the role of Christ. That's why you get Sister Borgia's sister playing out the role of Mary, because the Catholics, they pray to Mary. You know what I'm saying? They pray to Mary, then they feel like Mary has some type of, you know what I mean, some angelic powers also. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these deceptions, they come from Edom. They come from our oppressors. All these doctrines, they are literally Satan in the flesh. Their whole goal is to turn away the Most High's people against their God. You know what I'm saying? Against his power, against his damn, I keep forgetting this word, but his physical appearance. Mm-hmm. They turn you against all these things so you can serve them. You can look at them as gods. You know what I'm saying? They want you to serve anything but the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And they'll critique it into such a deceiving way. So when you learn this Bible, when you learn the teachings of the ISUPK, you learn who your real enemy is. And when you learn your enemy, you start to see exactly what Esau has been doing this whole time to get us away from the real teachings of the Most High. Right. That's so much so to the point where it's a strange belief for them. Like us, how we serve the Lord, how we teach his doctrine, well, not his doctrine, but his ways, his truth, how we teach his ways and his truth, it's strange to them. Mm-hmm. It's so much strange to the point where they hate it. They don't want to be involved with a God that only has a specific people. They don't want to deal with a God that loves only his people and hates everyone else, whether man, woman, or child. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to deal with that, but not knowing that same Edomite child that you love so much was hanging you on a tree back in the day. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know that because you don't know anything about reincarnation. You don't know anything about the Lord in general. You don't know about the scriptures in general. So you are indoctrinated to love everyone. More so, you're indoctrinated to hate your brothers and to love your oppressors. Mm-hmm. That's their doctrine. But so like I got more scriptures, but I'm gonna let you have that.
What you're bringing out of say, if I could, real quick, just to even emphasize even more on, who we're talking about. Like the Most High don't love everybody.
Right.
Christ didn't love everybody. They loved a specific people, Israel. You can look all throughout the Bible. You're not going to see anything that says the God of Esau,
right? The
God of Edomites.
Right.
That literally doesn't exist. That's because they don't have a God. They had to make up their own gods, like that Greek. What is it? The Greek mythology, like what is it? Zeus and
right.
Hades and all that stuff. You could. I mean, it's all garbage, but you could read about them. First of all, Zeus was a homosexual, and he committed incest. He slept with his own sister.
Right.
Okay. That's the imagination of Esau. Those are false gods anyway. But if I could, real quick, I'm gonna read Romans chapter 9, verse 9, and I'm gonna go to verse 13. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah, remember who Rebekah was? Rebekah was Esau and Jacob's mother, also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder Esau shall serve the younger Jacob.
Right.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau I have hated. Okay. There's a distinct difference. Two separate nations. Esau, Jacob, which his name was later changed to Israel. Esau was hated, is hated by the Most High. Why though? Because like you said, you brought up a heavy point. Esau is just a lawless people. They don't even adhere to their own laws. Like you said earlier, like a brother will get his neck sat on for a supposed counterfeit $20 bill, which it really wasn't even a $20 bill. There was a brother in the midst of COVID back in, I believe it was February 27th. Okay, the brother was jogging in a predominantly white neighborhood in broad daylight. Okay, you could clearly see him. He had some sweats on. He just, jogging. And it was two Edomites, a father and a son. One of them was a retired cop. He drives up and, they took down the video, but I happened to see it very quick. They cut him off, chased him, got out of the car. The brother is terrified, as anybody would be. Like, if you jogging, and you just see some big ass truck just pull up on you, and you see two hefty white boys with guns, with shotguns at that, you're gonna be terrified. So this brother was fighting for his life, and they shot him not once but twice at point blank range with a shotgun, and they laid his body there to waste. And then they weren't apprehended until I believe it was May. My fault, May. That's when they were finally apprehended. Do you think they're really gonna serve life? No. They'll tell you that they'll serve life, but they really don't. And it's not the first time you hear of things like this. There was a white man who beat a black kid because he saw him walking down the street, and when they brought him to court, he said that, oh, he just looked like he wasn't supposed to be there, even though he lived literally right down the street. They live in the same neighborhood. That's his spirit. Esau hates you. If you are from the 12 tribes of Israel, if you are a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man or woman, Esau hates you. It's because you hang out with a couple Edomites on the weekend, and they take y'all to go, y'all go into the club, or what is it, the frat fraternities. I could speak off of just being in the military, the Navy, the Marines, the Army, the Coast Guard, the Air Force. You serve Esau's nation. You work right along with them. And one of the things that they used to tell us back in boot camp was, there is no such thing as color in here. We all bleed blue, or we all bleed green, which was a lie. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, from personal experience, I've suffered more racism in Esau's military than I've suffered outside of it. That's just my personal experience on that. Okay, they call you the N-word. They it's in there. They have so much power. Like, they have power as it is anyway with the the police force and stuff like that. But when you in Esau's military, like, you really don't have any protection. There's it's really just you. You have a couple brothers at the top or whatever, and they're not really even at the top because you don't know what that brother or that sister had to do to get to where they at. Like, a lot of Black and Hispanic sisters that I would see that would have a higher rank, a lot of them are extremely masculine. They've suffered multiple divorces. They're sad, they're lonely, but why though? Because they had to be that way to get to the top. Right. And now they made it, they whatever rank they are, and they just bitter. They just bitter as hell. And it's not just them, the brothers too. There's been plenty of brothers that I still know of to this day. It's a term that we call them a salty sailor. That's what we call it. You just bitter. You're just angry. You got mood swings all the time. You're an alcoholic. You're just angry. But why though? Because of all the discrimination, the oppression that you had to go through to serve in Esau's military, and you don't even really get any love for it. But Esau, he thrives because it's his nation, it's his military. Okay, this is just some of the things that our people go through to this day. Like, when I say that Esau, not Slakia, let me rephrase that. When it says in Genesis that Esau was blessed with the sword, there is no beast on this planet that is as crafty and as wicked as Esau. Esau has a way of making you feel like he is your best friend. What was his name? Chad Wheeler. Chad Wheeler was he played for the Seahawks. Right. I think he was like, this is a big Edomite. Like, he's like 6'7", 300 something pounds. Right. And he had a black woman as his rib. And the thing is, when you saw the interview, she already knew that he had some mental issues to begin with, but she still chose to sleep with him. She just kind of gave herself up to the so-called white man. And then when he had one of his episodes, he damn near killed her. Like, they had to put her neck in a cast. Her face was all bruised up. She's on crutches. Because what was she going to do? This dude is 6'7", 300 something pounds, and she's an average size. I believe she was Judah. I'm not sure. I'll just say Israelite woman. What was she gonna do? Where was her protection? Okay. Now, I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, well, there's plenty of Black and Hispanic men out there who are wicked and who are evil and beat their wives and stuff." And the thing is, yeah, you're absolutely right. Why are they wicked though? Because they don't know the law. They don't know the inheritance that they were given, and they follow the ways of the heathen. Okay. Being a drug dealer, the first drug dealers in this country was the so-called white man. They make movies about him. What is it? Al Capone. They had that movie Scarface. What else was it? The Italian Mafia, or whatever it is, or
or Little Italy.
Yeah.
Those are all Edomites. They were the ones who were really pushing all that weight. But what do? We wanted to. It's like we got like a history of wanting to be like everybody else other than who we are. So we chose to be like them. We chose to be like Esau. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, black people are not good at selling drugs. We're not. Why do you think we get caught all the time? We suck. Okay? Stop doing it. It's wicked as hell anyway. Leave that to the so-called white man. Okay? The first alcoholics, no, those were Edomites. Okay? Do you little history lesson for y'all? Do y'all know that in the Navy that it is custom to get belligerently drunk and go to different ports, different countries, and have sex with prostitutes? That's what they do in the military. Okay, Esau's military. Okay, and they make songs about it, like it's fun. Like yeah, it's Salakia. It's just crazy that we as a people, we see this, right? We see what goes on and we just turn a blind eye. You need to know who your enemy is. And I know some people might say this, that, oh, y'all are just racist. God loves everybody. Find me in the Bible where it says God loves everybody. Find me in the Bible right now where it says that it's the God of everyone. No, it's the God of Israel, not Esau, not Ham, not Moab, not Ammon, not Amalek, the God of Israel. Okay, that is our God. That is the being of power that we are supposed to serve. You see what happens when we don't do it? We're destroyed. And other nations, they come for us too. It's not just Esau, but Esau has a specific hatred towards us. Why do you think he works so hard for us to be wicked?
Right.
That's why, like we talked about it briefly in our last class. Modern day music, modern day rap. We weren't always rapping about drugs and stuff. We used to just rap about, just whatever, having a good time.
Right,
for real. Like that's really what it was. That's what rap originally was.
Right.
But then it started turning into having sex with whores, pimps. Then when the crack era, the drug dealing. I know a lot of people love Wu-Tang Clan and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like some of their music too. But a lot of that music is wicked. They promote selling drugs. Now it's not even selling drugs, taking drugs, popping Xanax, popping Molly, smoking weed, doing coke, doing all those things. That's cool now, okay? And who is this being pressed upon all the time through our music? It's us. The so-called white man, he owns all of our music industries, okay? Your Cardi B, the Baby, Lil Baby, was it Gunna, all them, like, Saweetie, City Girls, Meg Thee Stallion. Like, you think that they're really doing something? No, that ain't nothing but a happy slave.
Right. It's like, and you can't even get rich unless you rap about that.
Exactly. I'm glad you
can't get signed.
I'm glad you brought that up because, like, sisters today. Okay, name me one Israelite female rapper who doesn't rap about her box and is famous.
Right.
Name me one. I challenge anybody. Please educate me. Put it in the comments. Somebody tell me one sister out there who doesn't rap about how wet her box is, how many men she slept with, how she got to manipulate men for money. And name me a brother right now who doesn't rap about wicked stuff who's famous. I believe it was, what's his name? Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper, they called him corny because I believe it was on his last album. I forgot the name of it, Salakia. He wasn't really rapping about like the things that we listen to now. He was rapping about, I forgot what song, but I think it was called Big Fish. And he was rapping about how people don't rap about marriage no more. Now he's in the world, don't get it twisted, but like, I thought it was very interesting that at least somebody's still talking about it. Like, why don't we rap about marriage no more? Why don't we rap about being with our woman, forever, and not just having sex with random women all the time, or sleeping with heathens, or having sex with prostitutes or another man's woman, or not killing each other, not selling drugs, and they called him corny, and his album flopped because it didn't fit the social norm.
Right.
But you'll bump some 21 Savage, you'll bump some The Baby, you'll bump some Gunna, you'll bump some Lil Baby, you'll bump all that because that's cool. Who makes it cool though? I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not even your so-called rappers today. It's not even them. It's the white man and women above them that rule over them that tell them, hey, make this kind of beat, rap about this. I guarantee you right now, if the baby came out and rapped about, I don't know, something, I mean, I can't really picture it, but if he rapped about something righteous, I guarantee you that song would not blow up.
Right.
It would not. It just wouldn't.
Sluggy, you got anything?
Man, so much. I mean, as far as getting back to Esau, like it doesn't take much to know who your deceiver is.
Right.
Let's take a little roll down in history. You know what I'm saying? When you were in school, what did you learn about the transatlantic slave trade? Because that's you don't really learn about the slaves getting here. You just really kind of learn about the slaves already being here. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to water down the abuse that the slaves had to take. You know what I mean? You don't hear about the Gadites out here. You don't hear about the Reubenites out here. You don't hear about, you know what I mean, the Issacharites out here. You don't hear about a lot of the terrors that happened to the people who are already here. You know what I mean? You don't hear about you just hear about, oh yeah, well, slaves came, you know what I mean, they picked cotton, and that was it. You know what I mean? And then Abraham Lincoln freed them. And that was it. You know what I mean? Like you hear a majority about all of Esau's pioneers. You know what I'm saying? All their pioneers, all their Freemason starters and everything like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you hear a lot about Esau. And honestly, what you're reading is their Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's their Bible. That's their book. That's their road of redemption. That's their road of power. And that's how they became great. You know what I mean? You read about the Boston Tea Parties and all that stuff like that. All these things. You don't read about how Esau has stolen pretty much everything. You don't read about how, you know what I mean, even wasn't it the gun he stole? Because didn't the Asians make the gun first? So
Like it.
But you don't hear about a lot of the things that he's stolen, and you don't hear about all the wickedness he did. You don't hear about him killing and abusing children, molesting children, raping women, raping men, you know what I mean? Like you don't hear about all of these things that they did in order to conquer to get the power that they have today. Their power is all built on blood, murder, blood, and rape. You know what I mean? Murder, blood, and rape. Like, you know what I mean? Even Habakkuk 2 and 12. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Woe to those who build a town built on blood. You know what I'm saying? Like this is Esau. This is how he conquers. This is how he builds. Like people pushing the mentality that protesting will get you something done. That's Esau. You know what I'm saying? Man. Esau's telling you, be peaceful. Don't hurt us. Don't do what we did to you, because you're not going to ever get anything done and no one will respect you. But we respect them to the utmost. And what did they do? All they did was kill and rape. So he's giving you he's literally being the most deceitful person ever, because the solutions that he's giving you it's for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be able to prosper in America are the complete opposite of what he did to get in power. You know what I'm saying? You need to know exactly what you're serving. You are serving Edomites. You are serving Esau. That picture of Mary, if you in that Catholic church, that picture of Mary, that's Cesar Borgia's sister that he was sleeping with. You know what I'm saying? You are serving an incest whore. She was a whore. You know what I mean? Cesar Borgia was a murderer and a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? These are people that you're serving. These are people who you get on your knees, you close your eyes, and you pray to. And all you're looking for is gain, 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 gain. You know why? Because you're praying to your father, the devil. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what it is to endure. You don't know what it is to be tempted. Why? Is because that's the God we serve. The God we serve, we have to endure. We have to be tempted in order to show our strength. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know those things because you serve Esau, and Esau's all about power. Esau's all about pleasure. That's why you sleep with every man you get in contact with every time you go out to these clubs and bars and stuff. Because you're all about pleasure. You're all about drinking yourself to a belligerent pulp. You're all about smoking yourself retarded. You're all about drinking this lean until your kidneys fail and you're in the hospital. What rapper have you not seen rapping about lean and everything like that that hasn't been hospitalized? And they try to keep it so under wraps too. Every time you see a rapper in the hospital from that lean that they're rapping about for you to go drink. You know what I'm saying? You seen Rick Ross, Young Thug, you know what I mean? Lil Wayne, you can just tell by the way he look like Beetlejuice right now. You know what I'm saying?
Sloggy, I shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, it's not funny.
It's not funny.
A brother being destroyed, but it's the truth. Because Lil Wayne will tell you to go drink lean, but he went from looking like, you know what I mean, a Rasta to a Beetlejuice. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Anybody else after that? You know what I'm saying?
So you know what's crazy? Just to comment what you just said. You know how many times the doctors told Lil Wayne to stop drinking that stuff?
Yeah.
And he put it in his songs. Yeah, he put it in his songs like, "Don't worry about what's in my cup."
Exactly. I got famous off of what's in my cup, and it's just no. You got famous off of the talent that the Lord gave you. You know what I'm saying? The Lord gave you that talent to be able to rap. You took that talent and you allowed yourself to be manipulated and spoke evil to your people instead of speaking righteousness. You could have been saying those same words, but saying, oh yeah, you know what I mean? You could have been speaking, oh yeah, don't eat pork, don't do, you know what I mean, don't smoke, you could have been doing all those things. You know what I mean? You see some rappers trying to do it. They're not succeeding, but they're trying to do it. But you know what I mean? A lot of rappers, they're taking, like, cause honestly, that whole devilish Satan worship type of thing, that was a norm a couple of years ago. Now that coronavirus hit, you don't really see people trying to get too involved with it no more. You know what I mean? You see them, they still being wicked, but they're not, you know what I mean, displaying it so wickedly now. You know what I mean? At first it was all in the music videos and the demonic possessions and all that stuff like that. Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? You don't see it as tough no more. That's because the Lord has stretched out his hand. You know what I'm saying? And now he's starting to judge this world. You know what I mean? And a lot of people can see what's going on, even especially the most wicked people, because they trying to figure out how they can, you know what I mean? Okay, let me just turn from my ways that I was doing. Nah. You know what I mean? You didn't just destroy yourself, you destroyed the people. But because the reason why you did it is because Esau wanted you to do it. Esau paid you to do it. You were paid millions to destroy your people. You know what I'm saying? You were put in a position where you could be one of the top people of your nation just for destroying your people. And that's because Esau is wicked and deceitful. And that's what devil means. Devil means deceit. You know what I mean? He has to lie. He lies about everything. He lied to you and made it seem like he was one of the God's chosen. You know what I'm saying? He lied to you. He paid your pastors off and made them preach something. They will literally, they have to study the book. And for them to go through the scriptures and to actually physically see that what they're saying is false and still go out there and go do it, it's all because of gain. It's all because of money. And that's what Esau wants. Recognize who Esau is in the Bible, because Esau's going to tell you one thing and he's going to switch up and do another. And I got a scripture on that. That's is it Numbers 35 and 33? Let's go to it right away. I had it and I've just logged out of it.
I got you. 35 and 33. Oh, I got it.
Also, it's not Numbers 35 and 30. I think it's Jeremiah 30 and 16. No,
that's not it.
Yeah, I just had it. His words were smoother than butter. Is that Psalms?
Oh, Salak. I know what you're talking about.
Is that Psalms 55?
That's I got you.
I
That
just had
is
it.
Psalms 51, 55 and 21.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, I can read it. For you.
okay, kind
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
right. And that's what Esau does today. He gives you these sweet songs and these songs you can bop to. He gives you these sweet words in the churches, and that the Lord is just a blessing, Lord, to the whole world, and everybody that repents can be saved. And he gives you all these sweet and beautiful words that you open your soul up to, like, you know what I mean? And you allow yourself to be manipulated. You allow yourself to be deceived. Like the Lord is a man of war. So if you're not looking at anything as a war mentality, then you are obviously been deceived by Esau. The Lord wants you to be able to battle. If someone sits over there and tells you about your book and is able to say something about your book that you feel like you cannot battle them on, and you can't bring out the truth, then obviously you're following something. You're following man. You're not following the Most High. The Most High left these scriptures for us to be able to fight those battles. The Lord left us these scriptures. So the Lord left us these scriptures so that when someone tries to deceive us, we can be able to combat that. You know what I'm saying? Hence, you got what's his name? What's his name again? So like Birth of the Nation, Nat Turner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had Nat Turner. Like Nat Turner was able to read, so he read the scriptures and he's seen that everything that these slave owners were teaching us was a lie. He was diluting our brains. He was polluting our brains into thinking that he was our God. You know what I'm saying? But Nat Turner was able to combat those scriptures because he was reading the book. Now, if you are following a doctrine that tells you to not read the book, you're following Esau, because Esau doesn't want you to read. Hence why he made reading a death sentence in slavery. If you was able to read, then you would be killed unless you were working for them and pushing their doctrine. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand who your enemy is, like the priest said. You know what I'm saying? Understand who your enemy is, and understand that Esau can't be saved. Esau has judgment coming. So when you see all these horrible things happening in the world today, this is Esau's judgment. You know what I mean? I seen Isaac Bruce say the same thing when he was getting his Hall of Fame award, and that's one of my favorite players in the NFL. He's the reason why I even became a Rams fan. But you know what I mean? He was saying the same thing. He was saying, you know what I mean, this is a time of redemption. This is a time where the Lord is going to cast his judgment. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is casting his judgment on a particular nation or on particular nations who have had the audacity to put their hands on the Lord's chosen. The Lord, if they knew the scriptures, they would have never done that. They would have seen that the Lord said, yeah, you will be punished for a time, but a time I will bring you back. But they didn't know that. They just thought that we were just turned away from and turned against, and that they can do whatever they will with us. We were just a broken people. Not at this time period. The Lord is raising his nation, and that's because judgment is coming. Judgment is already here. You see it. You know what I'm saying? The Edom's nations are falling just because of a simple virus. Now what's going to happen when their own people turn against their governments? What's going to happen when more pestilences are set on this earth? What's going to happen when these wars start to drop and these people who hold a lot of power together are going to rise against just USA by itself? You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen? You know what I mean? They're going to destroy and replenish this earth. And what are we going to do? You know what I mean? The people who decide to serve the Lord, to serve his commandments, to wholeheartedly push his truth on this earth, we're going to be able to watch all this destruction happen being unscathed. You know what I mean? Because Esau's judgment comes from, you know what I mean, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. He that puts you in captivity must be put into captivity.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Esau put their hands on the Lord's chosen people. And now they have a price to pay. And it's not just Esau. It's a lot of other nations too who had a hand in that. You know what I mean? The Spaniards, the Ishmaelites, the Africans, a lot of people were responsible for this poverty that we suffer today. You know what I'm saying? And they're still responsible to this day. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got to get judged. Don't be one of those people who has to get judged with them. You know what I mean? Wake up out of this nonsense of feeling like that you're the same as everybody else. The world is telling you by itself that you're not the same as everybody else. It's in your music. It's in your neighborhood. If you are in some type of nice neighborhood or something like that, it's either because you sold your box or you sold your pride to Esau.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You sitting over here ass kissing in order to get in higher positions, and whose ass is you kissing?
Esau.
You know what I'm saying? You're not. And we're talking about us as a nation as a whole. We are on the bottom. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are on the bottom, and it's time for us to rise up. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to rise up while the Lord is putting judgment on this nation, because at the end of the day, it's going to get so bad to the point where you're going to have to pick sides. You know what I mean? You're going to have to pick sides, and if you stuck in your ways, you know what I mean? Satan's not going to allow you to switch up all of a sudden.
Oh, of course not.
He gonna let you die with pride. You're gonna die with pride. You're gonna die with your fellow heathens. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like that. Don't do that. But that's pretty much all I have.
But before we close the class, just like touch on something just real quick, like because everything you brought out was extremely heavy. Like you got to think of it like you're learning a doctrine from the very same people who oppressed your people. All right, like imagine somebody. For anybody who wants to sit here and still want to side with so-called oppressor Esau, the Edomites, so-called white men. Imagine somebody going into your house. You got family, friends, people that you care about. Somebody goes into your house and beats the hell out of you, molests your children right in front of you, kills your family right in front of you, then kicks you out, then gets you arrested. Then when you try to come back to your house, years later, they say, hey, I'm really sorry for that. Can we be friends now? That's Esau. That's what he did and still continues to do with our people.
Right. The
very same people, like you said earlier, which was real heavy, the very same people that tell you, you just need to learn to forgive. It was one time, a brother was, he was blazing on the mic and some Edomite tried to call him a racist bigot. How can you be a racist bigot if everything that we're bringing up is straight facts? You did kill us.
Right.
You did molest our children.
Right.
You did force Native Indians to live on reservations.
Right.
You did force Mexicans out of this country. You do go to other Israelite dominant countries, South America, Salvador, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Cuba, all right, Colombia. You go to these places and you take from them. You take their resources. You take a lot of things that they could benefit off of, because Israel is what really makes this nation. Esau rules, but if it wasn't for us, like there wouldn't be a White House without black slaves. Okay, there wouldn't be like all this delicious food that you get to go to the grocery store and get and buy or whatever. Those are blacks, Hispanics, and natives that are making that food.
Right. Okay.
Your construction workers. Yeah, you'll see a heathen or two in there, okay? But usually you'll see a brother, sometimes even a sister working in a construction site.
Right.
Okay, contractors on these government establishments is mostly Israel. We build up this country, but who reaps off the fruits of our labor is the so-called white man. You can't tell me that I'm wrong. You don't even have to get to the Bible to know that. You could just go read a book. Okay, people want to talk about, white people, we had it bad too. What about the Holocaust? A little fun fact for you. Adolf Hitler knew that those weren't the real Jews. He even said that himself. He was killing them off. And he even said that America's going to have a price to pay because they're taking the jewels of God.
Right.
He said that. So this is a heathen talking. even he knew that the so-called Jewish man, who is not the real Jew, that they were a fraud.
Right.
And why in the hell would I worry about the what is it, the damn near genocide of another nation? I'm worried about my people. Oh, we need to remember the Holocaust. Well, you need to remember the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
You need to remember all the horrible things that our people have been through and still continue to go through to this day. Oh, but we got black actors and actresses, and we got LeBron James, and we got some people that are doing well financially. But the thing is, you don't know what they had to do to get to that point.
Right.
Okay, you don't know who really pulls the strings. Look at Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, he's very wealthy. Everybody knows who he is. But the second he started to speak on some truth, what happened? The white man came for him real freaking quick.
Amalek.
Yeah, Amalek. Okay, he went for him real quick. He tried to go for his pockets. Okay, these celebrities, they ain't nothing. So, pardon my term, but that ain't nothing but a house nigga. For real. Okay, he living in a big house with Massa and them. It's no different from back then. He's living the good life. She's living the good life, like you said earlier. But you don't know that sister, she's selling box. She is. I know we say that a lot, but there's a reason why we say specifically that, because it still happens.
Right.
Okay, there's gonna be people. Oh, well, there's women that are strippers and they don't do that. They selling box. Yes, they are. First of all, a stripper is a destroyed woman. Okay, you over here, you could have did anything productive in your life, and the only way that you know how to catch a bag is to take off your clothes. And they sell box too. They just don't tell you that. Okay? To destroy yourself for, like you said, some gain. That's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta do to live. No. Okay? You need to come back to the Most High and remember who you are as a people, but you also need to know who your enemy is. And Esau, as well as these other nations, are your enemy. And he's going to continue to pick off of you until you put your foot down and make your election sure and get right with the Most High. That's all I got for that. You got anything before we close class?
I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Like, Esau is going to be ruling until Yahushua returns. You know what I'm saying? You see him ruling today. You know who his identity is, because he was blessed with the sword. You know what I mean? He was blessed with the sword. Who is that? Who has the mightiest military of the world at this time period? Esau does. That's the sword. That's the sword he was blessed with in order to rule the nations. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, it's a prophecy. And every prophecy of this book has been coming to fruition. This is how you know there's power in this book. This is why some of the main religions who try to copy off this book and make their own doctrine are some of the world's largest, because they've taken the words of life from us and switched it up into a way where they can, you know what I mean, push their own narrative. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, there's a punishment for that too. You know what I'm saying? It's a punishment for that too, for you taking the words of the Most High and creating it to a lie. You know what I'm saying? Taking the words of God and turning it into evil. You know what I mean? For you to sit there and even give Esau a chance of salvation is evil. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High did not. The Most High said specifically that he will not be forgiven. So for you to say that the whole world can be forgiven, it just shows that you are just as wicked as who your father is. And your father is Esau. And your father is Satan. You know what I'm saying? That's who you serve. That's who you get on your knees and you pray to. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much all I got. Know who the characteristics of the people are. You know what I mean? Jacob was a laid back brother. You know what I mean? Who's more laid back than us? You know what I'm saying? Like, we laid back. And just think, if we weren't cursed and in hell, like, you know what I mean? If we had things our way, we would be even more laid back. We would be mellow, cool, calm, and collective. You know what I'm saying? And who was Ishmael? He was a wild criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how they are out there in East India today. You know what I mean? They wild,
blowing up.
You know what I mean? They blow up everything and themselves. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? So these characteristics, you know what I mean? Who was if I could go a little bit further, who was Ammon? You know what I'm saying? Who was Ammon? Who was Salakia? Moab. Who was Moab? Moab was an ancestral,
They were built as
deformed looking.
If y'all don't know, and we're not just saying this just to like say it.
Yeah,
like,
it's
those people like, oh, y'all just making fun of. No, we're not. Like if you read in the Bible, Lot got drunk when he got up out of Sodom and Gomorrah. Just a quick history lesson, real quick. He slept with his daughters. He got drunk and had sex with both of his daughters, and they had two children, and they were named Ammon and Moab.
Right.
They were made out of incest.
Right.
Look at the so-called Chinese and Japanese today. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. And they all look alike. You know what I'm saying? They all got the same particular look. But all in all, you know what I'm saying? Not because, you know what I mean, a lost person will say I'm spitting hatred right now, but all I'm doing is speaking scripture.
Yep.
But you just don't know it because you don't read them. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, you know what I mean, look at the characteristics and that's how you know the Most High is perfect at what he does.
Right.
Because he, as a whole in nations, he shows you who is who. You know what I'm saying? As a whole, not just us individually.
Right.
You know what I mean? But as a whole, he shows you who is who in this book. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Esau's a hunter. What does he do all day? He either destroys every animal, like animals becoming extinct is because of Esau. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even that bluebird from Rio is gone now.
Yeah, that's
He's
extinct
destroyed.
now. They're gone. I think it's like the white rhino or the black rhino. I think there's like one male white rhino.
Right. The panda almost out of here. You know what I mean? Like a lot of animals are almost out of here. That's because Esau is a cunning hunter, and he hunts and he loves to kill and mount his prey. You know what I mean? He mounted us for a time period. They would hunt us and they would mount us. They would make us out of shoes and clothing. You know what I'm saying? Like he know who is who. Like the book is more realer than you think. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures in the Bible are more realer than you think. You can tell by what you see today with this whole nation being destroyed, with the chariot sightings that are being seen more often than usual. You know what I mean? And Officer the Walker Bar got into that on scripture breakdown this Thursday. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of things that are prophesied in the Bible that are coming to fruition. But that's pretty much all I got. You know what I mean? Esau is who his character is in the Bible. Right. You know what I mean? And if you look at the character of Esau, you know exactly who he is. Yep. But like it.
And I just want to say the water to everybody that tuned in. That we're gonna end the class. So with that, Imagine just me and the brother up here.
Bring it out from the gut.
Trying. Trying, man. Sorry, it's me.
La Yasharala.
Amadim upon Yahakodam, which means to stand and face the east. We can start with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Lord's Prayer.
Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Ayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakut
Malakut Ka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Kotzaka.
Kotzaka.
Hayah.
Ayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baratza.
Kawa. Kawa.
Hayah.
Ayah.
Shemayim.
Rashemayim.
Yathalanawa.
Yathalanawa.
Lakum.
Lakum.
Call.
Call.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak now.
Wasalak now.
Kabawat now.
Kabawat now.
Kasalak now.
Kasalak now.
Kabawati now.
Kabawati now.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Kabiyah now.
Kabiyah now.
Wanasai
For the side one.
Ball.
Abal.
Awashai now.
Ayoshai now.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Hayah.
Kaya.
Lakah.
Lakah.
Malakwa.
Hamalakwa.
Wa'ala.
Wala'ala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
La'walumium.
La'yanyam.
Aman.
Aman. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come.
thy will be
Thy
done
will be done
on earth.
in earth.
So like in earth, as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread.
and forgive us our
And
debts,
forgive us our
as
debts.
we forgive our
As we
debtors.
forgive our
And
debts.
lead us not
Lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation.
but deliver us
Deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the
For
kingdom,
thine is the kingdom
and the power,
and the power
and the glory,
and the glory
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. Let's take time. We're going to do Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayunya.
Yumya.
Oh.
Oh.
Ahoyam.
Hayam.
Mayan.
Ayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'ayin.
I.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Wa'aratzah.
Rataza.
Al-Yatan.
Ayathan.
Number what?
Number what?
Wagolka.
Galka.
Oh.
Oh.
Yanawam.
Yawam.
Shamarka.
Samarka.
Ana.
Ana.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanawam.
Yawam.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yayashun.
Yasham.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Zalka.
Zalka.
Ayad.
Ayad.
Yanyamka.
Yamka.
Yawamam.
Yawam.
Hashamash.
Yashamash.
Wa'ah.
Ra'ah.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wa'arah.
Yarwa.
Walayala.
Wala'lah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka.
Makal.
Makal.
Rai.
Rai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Akapashka.
Akapashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Za'afka.
Kata'apka. Wa'apka.
Ma'ida.
Wa'ada.
Wa'ai.
Wa'id.
Awulam.
Awulam. The Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence comes my help?
My help cometh from the Lord,
My help comes from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth
He
thee
that keepeth
will
thee
not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade
The Lord is thy shade
upon thy right hand.
upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee
The Lord shall preserve
from
thee
all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy
He
soul.
shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going
and
out
thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim,
All.
all,
Amiyah.
Amiyah,
Akah.
Akah,
All.
all,
Rash.
Rash,
All.
all,
Shakwat.
Shaphat,
All.
all,
Kaya.
Kaya,
Ana.
Ana,
Oyebika.
Salaki, Yelika,
Yahama.
Yama,
Yawan.
Yawam,
Ra'ash.
Ba'ash,
Al.
Ra,
Yamaka.
Yamika,
Ya'amwa.
Amwa,
Sawadah.
Sawadah,
Wa'ida.
Ayatha,
Tazawah.
Tazwa,
Al.
Al,
Tazapawanyaka.
Tazapawanyika,
Marwa.
Amarwa,
Salakia. Lakawa.
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam.
Wanakakidam,
Goya.
Goya,
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah,
Yazakar.
Yazakar,
Shum.
Shum,
Yasharala.
Yasharala,
Awadah.
Awadah,
Kaya.
Kaya,
Tazawah.
Tazwa,
Labah.
Laba,
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa,
Al Yakab.
Alikah,
Baryaf.
Bayarath,
Yakarathwa.
Yakawathwa,
Aliyah.
Aliyah,
Adawam.
Adawam,
Wa.
Wa,
Yashamai.
Ashama,
Aliyam.
Aduyam,
Mawa'aba.
Abba Abba,
Wa'agoriam.
Wargariam,
Gabal.
Gabal,
Wa'amawan.
Aliyam,
Wa'amalak.
Wamalak,
Halashah.
Halashah,
Am Yeshabia.
Yashabia,
Tazawar.
Tazawar,
Gum.
Gum,
Ashawar.
Ashawar,
Alawa.
Nalawa,
Aimam.
Ayawam,
Hayawa.
Hawa,
Zarawai.
Zarwai,
Labunya.
Labunya,
Wat.
Zawat,
Salah.
Salah,
Aisha.
Aisha,
Laham.
Laham,
Kamadyan.
Kamadyam,
Kasaya.
Kasaya,
Sara'ah.
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan.
Kayabyan,
Barakal.
Barakal,
Koyashwan.
Kayashwan,
Nashab Madwa.
Nashabiwa,
Bayan.
Bayan,
Dara.
Dara,
Hayawat.
Kawa,
Dama.
Dama,
La'ah.
Ma'a,
Dama.
Dama,
Shaidamwa.
Shaitama,
Nada.
Nada,
Yamawa.
Yanawa,
Kairab.
Kairab,
Kazaba.
Kazaba,
Kazabak.
Kazabat,
Kazor.
Katazal,
Manai.
Benai,
Call.
Kal,
Asayakamwa.
Asayakuma,
Ashar.
Ashar,
Marwa.
Marwa,
Niarashah.
Narashah,
Manawa.
Nanawa,
Ath.
Ath,
Nawath.
Narawath,
Alahayim.
Alahayam,
Alahayim.
Alahaya,
Shaidamwa.
Shaitamwa,
Gogala.
Gargula,
Quash.
Quash,
Panya.
Panya,
Kawa.
Akawa,
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash,
Ira.
Tab'ira,
Yaira.
Ira,
Wa.
Wa,
Kalaba.
Kalaba,
Alahat.
Alahat,
Ahoyim.
Alahayam,
Kun.
Kan,
Daradama,
Taradama,
Saarika,
Saarika,
Wasa,
Wasa,
Wapaka,
Wapaka,
Tabahalam,
Tabalam,
Mala'a,
Wala,
Ayaham,
Ayam,
Palawan,
Alawan,
Waya,
Aya,
Kwashwa,
Kwaswa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahagwa,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Waya,
Waya,
Harwa,
Kagwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Badwa,
Abadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Daiwa,
Dawa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ada,
Atha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Babaka,
Babaka,
Al-Yawan,
Alawan,
Al,
Al,
Call,
Call,
Haratsa.
Haratza. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
Be not still.
O God.
O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a token.
and they that hate thee
They that hate
have lifted up the head.
lifted up the
They
head.
have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people
and consulted
and consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy haters.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them off
and let us cut them off
from being a nation,
from being a nation.
that the name of Israel
The name of
may be
Israel
no more
may be
in remembrance.
Maybe no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against it.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom,
and the
and
Ishmaelites,
the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and Hagarenes,
the Baal,
the Baal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and
the
Amalek,
Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
So also was joined with them.
They have hope in the children of
And
Lot.
have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as to the Midianites,
as to the
as to
Midianites,
Sisera,
as to
as
Sisera,
to Jabin,
as to
at the
Jabin,
brook of
at
Kison,
the brook of Kison,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at
They
Endor.
became as done for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make their nobles like a red,
and like Zaid.
like Zaid.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Abad,
all their princes as Zabah,
and as Amunah,
and as Amun,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to
let us
ourselves
take to ourselves
the house of the God in
the
possession.
house of God in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a whip,
as a stubble before the wind,
as a stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth a
as
wood,
the fire burnt the wood,
and as the flame set the mountains on
as
fire.
the flame set the mountains on fire.
So like it. So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy
with
tempest,
thy tempest,
and make them afraid
make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy
they
name.
may seek thy name.
O Lord,
O Lord,
let them be confounded
let them be confounded
and troubled
and troubled
forever.
forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to
let
shame
them be put to shame
and
and
perish,
perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high
art the most high
over all the earth.
over all the earth. Sorry, it's me. Gotcha.
Shalom, Israel. Thank you for tuning in.
Shalom, Israel.